Hi guys, and welcome back to Movies That Matter with the Viking, and today marks the 12th anniversary of The Dark Knight, the Christopher Nolan directed Batman classic. Of course, you got Christian Bale starring as Bruce Wayne Batman. You got Heath Ledger, the great Heath Ledger, portraying the Joker. You got Engel Egart portraying Two-Face, Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. You also got Michael Caine portraying Alfred. You got Gary Oldman portraying Commissioner Gordon. Man, this cast is unbelievable, filled with talent. Even Cillian Murphy comes back after Batman Begins to play Scarecrow at the start. So an unbelievable cast of actors in this amazing film. And The Dark Knight, to me, is the great, it's the pinnacle comic book movie of all time, the best, the Citizen Kane of comic book movies. It's absolutely perfect in my opinion. I remember the first time that I seen The Dark Knight. I didn't see it in theaters. I seen it at home, and I was memorized by the Joker. Now, as I've said before, I got into comic book movies because of the X-Men films and because of Raimi's Spider-Man. But the reason that I started leaning more towards DC was because of that film, The Dark Knight. And Heath Ledger was absolutely perfect as the Joker. And he won an Oscar, of course. He sadly passed away before the film came out. He won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, and he fully deserved it, in my opinion. Absolutely brilliant. The Dark Knight, as I said, is the pinnacle of comic book movies. Why? Why is it the pinnacle? Why is it the best? I think every performance is brilliant from each actor. They bring something to the film. You have the script, the actors make this film. They really do. Christopher Nolan, unbelievable director. And what I like about The Dark Knight is it flows perfectly. I never get tired of the story, of the characters, of the way that it's going, the progression of the stories, the character development. There's not much I can nitpick at this film. Even films like Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, that I absolutely love, I can nitpick certain things that don't work or don't make sense or don't add up. But The Dark Knight, for me, is perfect. There's nothing I can nitpick. It made over $1 billion on a $180 million budget. Unbelievable at that time for a comic book movie. Absolutely brilliant. 12 years ago, it released worldwide. It did very well for itself, critically and with fans. And people say Christian Bale is the best Batman of all time. I disagree, but he gives an unbelievable performance as the Dark Knight. But he's overshadowed once again by the villains in this film. Just like in Batman Begins is probably his best as the character, but then as the stories go on, The Dark Knight, he is outshone by Heath Ledger's Joker, and of course Harvey Dent, Two-Face as well. Eckhart did an unbelievable job with his progression of his character of being Harvey Dent, standing up for Gotham City, then progressing to becoming Two-Face. An unbelievable CGI that's done for the work on his face, of course getting burnt off. For me, the Dark Knight trilogy isn't always about action. It's not. It's about the characters, about story. It's about going through hardships. And DC makes realistic stories with realistic tones. Even the ones with metahumans and big superheroes. They're grounded films in terms of this could happen in today's world. And especially the Dark Knight trilogy. There could be a man like Batman that could dress up. There could be a character like the Joker, because these are people. They're not superpowers. They're people who've gone through shit in their life that has brought them to this point to act this way. In the Dark Knight film, this plot is pretty simple. Harvey Dent, Commissioner Gordon, and Batman are trying to get the criminals out of Gotham City. They're trying to clean up the streets. They're trying to make this a great city again. But the mob doesn't like this because money is being taken out of their pocket. But who do they hire? They hire the Joker. And the Joker comes up with this unbelievable plan to manipulate the mobsters in Gotham City. He says, pay me and I'll get rid of the Batman for you. We'll kill the Batman. The Joker doesn't care about money. He just wants to create chaos. He just wants to burn this place to the ground. Why? We don't know what kind of struggles has Heath Ledger's Joker gone through in his own personal life. We hear different backstories. We don't know exactly what is the origin story of this character. We know how Batman became Batman. We know how Two-Face became Two-Face. But how did Heath Ledger's Joker become the Joker? And that's what's so fascinating about that character. The mystery of why and how he is how he is. Christopher Nolan, of course, one of the best filmmakers of all time, does an unbelievable job, not only with telling each individual story, but linking it up and making it flow so nicely. There's times in Batman Begins and times in The Dark Knight Rises where the story kind of comes down and it lacks in creativity at times in terms of keeping your engagement. But for me, The Dark Knight is 2 hours and 30 minutes long, roughly, and it flies right by. It's like one beam. It just flows so nicely, and I never get tired of the characters or the story. But for me, I've said before, it's the best comic book movie of all time, in my opinion. It's just the way it's told, the way it's shot. It's a beautiful looking film with some tragic characters who are trying to get redemption and doing the right thing in their eyes. And like in a film that is Batman, that stars Batman, who would thought the villains would outshine him? Who thought that Christian Bale, a great actor, and maybe arguably in these three films, is outshone by the villains, by the supporting actors? Even had in The Dark Knight Rises, Bane, So for me, many films have touched The Dark Knight in terms of trying to be the best comic book movie of all time. Batman vs Superman, Logan, films like that, but they haven't reached that yet. And I'm a huge Logan and Batman vs Superman fan, Man of Steel fan, but there's something about Dark Knight for me that just renaissates this love I have for the world that Christopher Nolan created. And I think it's made a lot by Heath Ledger's Joker. I really do. And it's a pity he passed away. He was such a talented actor, and I thought that going forward he would bring more to the Joker in the third installment of the trilogy, if that's the story they were going to tell. But he made the film, he really did. And even when Heath Ledger's Joker comes out of the story and he is gone, and maybe Christopher Nolan didn't get to shoot an extra scene or so, Eckhardt has to take over as the villain. And he's perfect. He's brilliant. And I love the interaction between the two. The hospital scene where the Joker goes and visits Two-Face, and they have that interaction, and the Joker is just blowing up the place and not giving a fuck about what's going on. It's absolutely brilliant. And then the interrogation room scene, and another classic, outstanding acting performance from both Bale and Ledger in that film. Absolutely. Remember, I go back sometimes just to watch that scene, and it's brilliant. And then, of course, with Batman dealing with the death of the love of his life, who he thought was going to choose him in his path of hanging up the cowl and taking over as just Bruce Wayne again. And that's what he was hoping Harvey Dent would be, the White Knight of Gotham, the next Batman per se, but doing it more of a right way, of doing it more of a legal way, instead of dressing up like a bat and taking to the streets. And Eckhardt's character, Harvey Dent, is doing that. He's putting the mobsters in prison. He's cleaning up the streets the right way. And this makes Batman think, maybe the way I've been doing things isn't necessarily the right way to do it. Maybe violence isn't the right way. So then he contemplates retiring as the Batman. He looks at Harvey as this next coming of Batman, but in the right sense. But the Joker can see this. The Joker wants to fuck with everything, and he relates to Batman so much. He doesn't care who Batman is. He might even know near the end who Batman is. He thought it was Harvey Dent. He thought that this character was good with his two faces. He was good with his Harvey Dent face and good with his Batman face. But it's actually very much the opposite. You have Bruce Wayne playing this playboy billionaire role on one side, and then dressing up as a Batman taking on criminals on the other side. So the Joker thought he knew who Batman was, but it just shows you how well Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne is at hiding who his personality really is, and he is Batman. So again, guys, The Dark Knight turns 12 years old today. Unbelievable. And since then we've had many incarnations of the Batman. We've had many incarnations of the Joker, but together, for me, The Dark Knight is the pinnacle, the Citizen Kane of comic book movies, and I never ever get tired of rewatching this absolutely 10 out of 10 classic. I want you guys to let me know your thoughts on The Dark Knight. Is it the best comic book movie in your opinion? One of the best films of all time? Is it the best? Is it the pinnacle? Is it top of the tree, as in the best ever? But if it's not, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the film as a whole. Does it still stand up today? I think it looks absolutely brilliant for a film that came out 12 years ago. Absolutely. I might even rewatch it tonight. I get excited even talking about it. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Give a like, subscribe. Let me know. Come follow me on all the socials and talk about the one thing we love talking about, which is movies. And always remember, guys, until next time, The Dark Knight is the best.